Om Shanti, this is Morni, and I'm very honored to be asked to share my experiences with Didi Manmohini. In fact, I was very close to Didi Manmohini. She asked me to come to see her every morning after class, and I used to sit by her feet to listen to the Murli, which was really wonderful because she was a great student. She always carried her notebook to class and used to take her notes in a question and answer format. And very obedient, very disciplined child of Baba. And she was known, in fact, as the controller in the yagya. What this meant was that she upheld the disciplines and the principles and really shone out as an example of those. But she really was, I would say, like a protector of the yagya. And this is how we protect the yagya, by being examples, by following all the disciplines and the principles. She's missed in this role because we know in an organization that the people who sit in the heart of the organization hold a very big responsibility to uphold the principles of this clan, of this wonderful community that we have created together, the yagya. But besides being the controller, in fact, Didi Nirmala said that many of the sisters were a little bit afraid of Didi because she was strict and a very good teacher. So they were very little bit afraid. But for the double foreigners, perhaps because she didn't have to play that role, we all found her to be very funny, light, playful, and very mischievous. In fact, we used to go for a walk with Daddy Prakashmani, and Didi Manmohini. After lunch, we would walk down to Naki Lake, and Didi would take us on this walk. She walked very fast, in fact, even though she had a limp. And what we used to do on the way, we would play a game where we threw stones through a hole that had formed in a big rock. So this was the little game we played. One day when I was walking along, I felt something hitting my back and I was looking to see what could that be. And I caught Didi Manmohini throwing stones at my back in a playful manner. And when I caught her, she held out her hand with love as if in some kind of, apology. But when I went and took her hand, she grabbed my hand and threw me. And I thought, oh my gosh, she is really mischievous. And she wasn't young. She must have been at least in her late 60s at that time. So for us as double foreigners, we just found her very playful and really a grandmother for all of us, a teacher, first of all, but also a daddy, a grandmother. And we loved her just as we loved Daddy Ji. I had the great fortune to travel to England and also to America with Didi in 1980. And she was very famous for her drishti, very powerful. And Baba said, when Didi's drishti falls, then things will change. And I remember her mantra during that time, Ab gar jana hai, it's time to go home. That was what she spoke about in every talk that I remember. In Madhuban, I always used to sit at Didi's feet. And in fact, it was her that gave me my name, Morni. In fact, she was well known for giving very funny names. And I came into Gyan a little bit the same time as Sister Maureen from London, and she called her Mugli, and she called me Morni. But Mugli didn't really stick with Maureen. So I kept the name Morni so that we didn't get confused as to who was being called. So Didi gave this name, and Daddy Janky used to call me Didi's Morni. And I loved being called that. It really was such something that touched my heart whenever Daddy would say that, because I really felt very close to Didi Manmohini. She's very missed, she's very loved. And as with all of our seniors, she cannot be replaced. There was only one Didi, just as there was only one Daddy. They were so close. They were just, as we used to say, one soul with two bodies. They always used to consult each other before taking a decision. There was such a great unity that carried forward into the whole family. So I feel very fortunate to be able to have witnessed this. And just before closing, let me tell you one more very funny experience. Baba used to meet in the meditation hall, and Didi and Daddy would go and have a meal and come back. And when they came back, they entered in the door behind the Gadi. I think it was Didi that sat first on the floor behind Baba, cross-legged, and Daddy sat on her lap. And I was sitting on the sofa, and they called me. They called me to come and sit on their lap. So the three of us were sitting behind Baba as Baba was meeting souls and just kind of playing in the corner. And I could see on Baba's face that he knew what these naughty children were up to, but he continued with his work. And it was such a sweet, such a funny experience to have with these daddies. So this is the character. This is actually the yagya that I surrendered to. This innocence, playfulness, sweetness, and yet power, discipline, and protectors of the yagya. So I feel so good to be remembering these stories and to be sharing them with you. Om Shanti.